Yo, what is up, homies? My name is Devin, and today we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew about food before I started testosterone. That's when I really started to take lifting and getting fit and feeling better in my skin seriously, and I had a lot of missteps along the way. I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, so, if I can help you skip some of those pitfalls, and if I can help you kind of speed up time in terms of your progress as much as realistically possible, that's what I'm here to do. Now, before we get into that, if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, a custom meal plan, or a custom training plan, please feel free to email me. It's going to pop up over here. Check out my website. It's going to be linked down below. On my website link, you can also find my high protein cookbook, Healthy Doesn't Suck, as well as my training plan, Mask Made Simple. So let's go ahead and get into the video. One of the first things that I wish I knew about nutrition, will expand it to not just food, but nutrition, is that hydration matters. The first year of my HRT journey, essentially, I was always having cramps. I was getting cramps in my quads, in my hamstrings, in my back, in my delts. I was getting cramps everywhere. And that's because I didn't really take hydration seriously. Not only just water consumption, but also electrolytes, especially considering the time that I started testosterone is when I really started to work out harder, right? I was deadlifting, I was bench pressing, I was doing this, intense work for my body to carry, right? But I wasn't hydrating properly. So this is just a rough guesstimate. Ultimately, if you are a little bit more active, if you are sweating and excreting moisture a little bit more, you are going to want to have more water. What you can also do is the color test, so you can pee, check out your urine. If it's dark as hell, well, baby, you need to drink more water. If it's completely clear, then you are all good, no issues, okay? And then when it comes to the electrolyte side of things, there's so many different, performance stuff that you can buy. I know that there's a lot of talk about BCAAs, EAAs, all these different things. Ultimately, I'm kind of frugal and I don't always buy, the Redcon one or all the big brands like that. Oftentimes, I'll just go to Walmart and buy a Gatorade hydration pack, which is honestly cheaper and it has all the same minerals and vitamins. And what you're looking for there is potassium, sodium, magnesium. So those are all some of the most important things that you should be looking for when it comes to hydration packs. And if you are training, I do recommend having this intra workout. You'll just be replenishing your hydration while you're sweating it out, which is fantastic. And if you've ever had cramps, they suck terribly, so we definitely want to avoid those. Now, since I did mention supplements, I also find it very important to say that supplements are not going to do the work for you. I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me and they're like, "Hey Devin, what supplements are you taking? What supplements do you recommend? Supplements, blah, 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 blah." Hey, how much protein are you eating? How much water are you drinking? Yes, supplements can be helpful, but as corny as this quote is going to be, supplements are the icing on top of the cake. If you don't even have a cake, you don't want to start adding supplements, right? They can make a difference, but only if you're focusing on the big fish, right? So the big fish being your food intake, the big fish being hydration, the big fish being sleep, the big fish being stress management. If you're taking creatine, but you're sleeping 4 hours a night, I'm sorry, my friend, it's not going to help you with the gains, okay? Ultimately, there are some supplements that I recommend for my clients, but realistically speaking, most supplements are a case-by-case basis. If I tell you what I'm taking, for the most part, it's not going to be relevant to you because I have a different day-to-day life. I have a different body. I have different things going on hormonally. It's not for you, okay? Some general supplements that are helpful: vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids, creatine can be helpful, glutamine can be helpful for digestion. Now, when it gets to all the other supplements like test boosters, I don't recommend those. When it comes to just random stuff that a lot of, influencers are pushing on you, I can tell you, if you stop taking creatine today, you would not wither away. It's just icing on the cake. It's not going to make or break your physique. So I know personally that supplements are expensive. They cost money. Money is hard to come by. I wouldn't put too much stock in it, if I'm being honest. The next thing that I wish I knew so that I can make as much gains as possible when starting testosterone is that you need to eat, bro. God, I wish I could just jump back to when I was 20 years old and fucking force feed myself, because I was just not eating and I was working out so hard and I was like, testosterone, help me with these hips, I need it to go. But the muscle has to come from somewhere. Obviously, if you're in a place where it's not healthy for you to eat in a surplus, then you have to focus on what your body needs at the time, and you're just relying on testosterone to do the work for you. You have to understand the mass has to come from somewhere, right? It's not going to come out of thin air and just show up on your body. You have to eat the food to grow. Then you train your ass off, then you sleep, and then nutrient partitioning happens, which is what your body does with the food once you're consuming it, how it becomes muscle essentially. eventually. Don't diet forever. Don't keep yourself in a deficit. Don't be ultra afraid of gaining weight if you're in a healthy position to do so. I feel like I spent a lot of time wasting my time when I was just dieting all the time because I could be much bigger right now. And sometimes I wish that I was. Society tells a lot of AFAB people like, smaller is better. You don't want to be overpowering. You don't want to take up too much space. And even for myself, I put myself in the position of trying to be as small as I could so that like people wouldn't notice me. So when I started to eat more food, even for this past year, when I started to bulk up more, I felt like I was becoming a newer and better version of myself because I was like, fuck yeah, bro, like I'm gonna get bigger. People are gonna notice me. That's fine. I'm not gonna be afraid about it. The ultimate thing you can do for testosterone is feed it. Now, this is gonna be a hard pill to swallow for some people. Man, is it gonna be hard, but processed foods are not good for you. How corny is that to say, right? But in this day and age, more than ever, there are so many health products that are being marketed all over the place, right? A protein Snickers bar, whatever the hell there is. There's, the Quest Reese's cups. There's all of these different, protein snacks. And let me tell you what, when something is overly processed, your gut has a hard time digesting it, and that causes inflammation. You're not actually absorbing all of the nutrients that you're looking to absorb from that food intake. And it's also not providing as much nutrients as if you were to get it from a whole food item, right? Eating 4 ounces of top sirloin steak is not the same thing as having a Quest protein bar. So processed foods are not necessarily always going to be good for you. Sometimes they can be a crutch. And if you can remove most things that are processed out of your diet, you will notice that your body will look less inflamed. You'll feel better. Your gut will actually have more micronutrients to work with, okay? So what I do is I just have 1 scoop of whey isolate per day, and that's it. Obviously, you guys know that I used to be very into snacks and like low calorie foods and stuff like that. But, ultimately it was just making me puffy. It was helping me manage starvation, but we're not starving anymore. So no need for that. So understand that you don't need to be eating so much, Quest protein chips, this and that. Think twice before you grab that protein candy, okay? Speaking of eating food, meal timing is also incredibly important. What I used to do before when my relationship with food was kind of really, really funky is I would like not really eat throughout the day, and then I would eat all my food at night, and I would go to bed with a nice full tummy, and I felt like everything was right in the world. It's important to give your body multiple opportunities for muscle protein synthesis. We want pretty much a pulsing effect for that. So consistently feeding into that muscle protein synthesis process, right? It's important to eat when you wake up. It doesn't have to be the second you wake up, but you shouldn't be fasting for super duper long. It's important to eat midday. It's important to eat before you go to bed. Food timing matters. I do suggest eating every 2 to 3 hours. It doesn't have to be freaking Jay Cutler meals, and it shouldn't be teeny tiny bird meals. Make sure there's protein in there, make sure there's carbs in there, make sure there's fat in there, okay? I know somebody out here needs to hear this. You can have a treat every once in a while. I cannot tell you guys, when I started testosterone, I believe it was 2020, I didn't have any like normal people food until like 2023. I didn't touch cake, I didn't touch ice cream. When there was something around me that was fun like that, I would like put my horse blinders on, I would get super serious, and I'd be like, nah, don't even offer me that shit, bro. I'm not having it. I didn't eat that kind of food on my birthday. If I have that, then the whole entire universe is gonna collapse and I'm gonna get fat again, right? Ultimately, what that led to was me having a ginormous binge cheat day on my birthday where I ate like 9,000 something calories. I had so much fun, but I didn't need to do that to myself, because if I just let myself eat like a normal person every now and again, having a little sweet treat, having a little something, then I wouldn't have had that ginormous cheat day, which put a fuck ton of stress on my gut. Allow yourself something every now and again. Most people don't have an issue with that. Most people do allow themselves something now and again, but if you're like me and you're like ultra restrictive, I know it can be hard to trust yourself and to trust that you're not going to go overboard. So if you want to have a buddy with you that you tell them, hey, please like help hold me accountable. I'm working through my relationship with food. I want to go out for a donut. Can you please hold me accountable to only have one donut, right? It's important that you have people in your life and relationships in your life where people respect you and where they want to see you get better. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with individuals who, like, whether it be their partner or their mom or their brother, who is living unhealthy and is kind of like peer pressuring them into not making these positive changes, right? There's a difference between over restricting yourself, where your family and your friends will be like, hey, you're doing too much, you're concerning me, and disciplining yourself where you're like, actually, I have high blood pressure. I need to not be eating this right now. And you need to make sure that the people around you are supporting you in a healthy manner, right? There's nothing worse than you're fighting your own demons and then you have external people who are are making things harder for you, right? So make sure that the support system around you with everything that I mentioned is positive. Try to talk to people who are like-minded like you are. Talk to other trans guys, talk to AFAB people, talk to people who are doing what you want to do, and just everything will start to become second nature, right? Now, you should definitely be following me on Instagram. It's at DVNSPRS, but that's also going to be linked down below. And like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Don, and Devin is out of here, boy.